Hey guys, and welcome to the video. So a few videos ago I talked about emotional eating and how that can affect your weight loss progress. And I'd just like to continue on that theme a bit more about how your unconscious things up here can lead to difficulties in losing weight and ultimately self-sabotaging the direction and choices you make when trying to lose weight. So as humans, we all have underlying forces in our heads, and these things are unconscious. We don't really know they're happening, but at the same time, they're really, really important because they kind of drive us in the right direction to the things that we think we want. And they developed in the past because these things that we think we want are things that helped us survive. So day-to-day things that pushed us towards keeping going and surviving, things like food and shelter and things like that. And these unconscious forces drive us to seek these things out. And you can kind of think about it like a compass. So it pulls very strongly in one direction, depending on what you want and what you need. And you don't really have much control over this pull. And so the rational sort of decisions you make day to day are sometimes sort of pulled off course because of this compass. It's pointing in a different direction. So sometimes we think we want something and we know we want something, but if our internal forces, our internal compass, is pointing in a different direction, it can be a sort of tug of war between the two. Let me just explain that a little bit more. So say that you finally decide to go on your diet, you read up on some healthy eating articles and you put everything in place. You start the day well, you have an amazing breakfast and a really good lunch as well. And then in the afternoon you go for a little walk in town and you pass a cake shop and you stop at the window and you look and you think, I want one of these. So you go in and buy it and you eat the cake. Now, you've eaten something that you told yourself earlier that you weren't going to eat. So all your rational decisions about healthy eating have just been undermined by this desire to have the cake. So why is this? It's like the smart, rational side of you decided to do something, the healthy eating, losing weight, but as if the compass didn't get the memo. So as soon as you passed the cake shop, it pointed you in there. It sabotaged your rational thoughts on what you really want now with its own direction, the internal forces pulling you to buy and eat that cake. Now we all have this internal compass, and what it does is it pulls you away from what's not pleasurable, all the things you're scared of, all the things you don't want, and pulls you towards the things that are pleasurable, the things that you do want. And that force is very strong. So the rational things you think in your brain, oh, I want to eat healthy. If it's not a direction that the compass is pointing in, then it's really going to be hard to keep doing it and keep motivated and keep on that different direction because there's going to be that constant pull between what the compass wants and what you want. So you eat the cake because it's pleasurable. You don't do your workout because it's painful. You don't do the housework because it's painful. You don't study because it's painful. So this compass, it points you towards what it thinks you want, that pleasure all the time. It tries to make you avoid the pain, the gym, the housework, the studying, whatever, and point you towards things that are pleasurable. So eating cake. Now the issue here is the pain and the pleasure. Most people's compass is set to the default setting of avoiding pain and seeking pleasure. And this is the issue with most people, not just in their diets, but a lot of things in their life. They're always going towards the pleasure and avoiding the pain. So this leads to an emotional roller coaster ride in your day-to-day life where everything that is pleasurable makes you happy and everything that isn't pleasurable, everything that's painful, makes you unhappy. So if you ask 100 people, do you enjoy the gym? Most of them will say, no, I don't. It's painful and it doesn't make me happy. So the problem here is that the compass is set, like I said, to its default setting of pleasure and pain, and it's not the best way. We can reprogram it to work differently. The reason that we need to do this and that it's so important is because that when your internal compass is controlled by pleasure and pain, it doesn't lead you to any desirable location. It leads you down dead ends and around circles. And that's why a lot of people don't get success with certain things in their life, including weight loss and dieting. You start something and with the rational part of your brain you say, yes, I'm going to eat healthy, I'm going to do my workout every day, I'm motivated. And then you find that the internal compass is pointing the other way. It's pulling you in a different direction. It's making you want to seek pleasure and eat the cake and not do the workout. And it undermines your results every single time. You'll find the motivation really difficult, and even if what you're doing is really meaningful, like a workout or studying for your future, if that compass is pointing in a different direction, then you'll find it so hard just to stick to what you want to do. The rational side of the brain is just pulled towards where the compass wants to go, and you'll find it really, really hard to stick to what you're doing. So solving the problem is not easy, and the solution is really just reprogramming, or being able to reprogram that compass to not look at the pain and pleasure, but point towards a distant goal that you have, so the weight loss. And instead of your daily life being dictated by the pleasure and the pain, it being dictated by that goal, what's good for that goal. And this is really the key to having the decision to do something and having your internal compass point towards it. So once you have this distant goal, you need to make it strong. So with my clients, I ask them to write down their goal and then imagine what their life will be like when they get there. So what will you look like? What clothes will you wear? What will you feel? What will people say to you? Write a whole paragraph of how your life will be like when you've lost weight. Think about emotions, think about feelings, colors, everything about how your life will be different, and make it as vivid as possible. And then you can use this to motivate you. So remind your compass which direction it's pointing in. When you see that cake, remember that the compass is pointing in a different direction now. It doesn't want the cake. It wants that goal of losing the weight. And that's the basic idea of being able to reprogram your compass from looking at the pleasures and the pains to the goal, the ultimate goal, and to ignore those pleasures and pains and work on what you need to, whether it's a pleasure or pain, in day-to-day life that points you towards that weight loss goal. So then your emotions will begin to balance, so your day-to-day life will stop being dictated by those pleasures and those pains, but instead the direction of your goal, because the compass is pointing in that way now. So when you have, say, a piece of cake in front of you, which in the past would have been a pleasure, your compass is not pointing that way anymore. It's not pointing towards the pleasure, it's pointing towards your ultimate goal. So it would be a lot easier to avoid it, because your rational brain now, your I want to lose weight, is pointing in the same direction as the compass. So it becomes so much easier. And you get that continual motivation to continue on your journey down that path to your ultimate goal of weight loss. And yes, the pains and pleasures, they make up this journey, but only if it's pointing in the way that your compass is pointing. So there might be a piece of cake, but only if it's going to be helping you stick to your diet. There might be a workout which is a pain, but you enjoy doing it because it's on the path, on the way that your compass is pointing. We're not dictating our life now by the pains and the pleasure, but that path to the weight loss goal. So, like I said, the pains and the pleasures are still there, but when they point in the same direction as the compass, then they help you get to that goal. So there's no tug of war between what you want in the short term and what your goal is in a different direction. Everything is pointing in the same direction, so everything comes together and works together. The pains and the pleasures, you enjoy food, you enjoy working out. Those in the past were contrasting things, but now, because they help you succeed and help you get to your goal, they're easy to do and they're more enjoyable. So I hope you enjoyed that different style of video today. I enjoy doing these ones. As always, like, share and comment, and I will see you in the next one.